Hello and welcome back. Playing Oxygen Not Included, and I'm cooling off the Desolands. So I set up a base here in the last episode, and I've got power generation. We're generating oxygen through electrolyzers, and even has some amenities for the dupes to up their morale, lots of food. But now I want to worry about the temperature, both from the dupes as well as the sort of machinery that I'll eventually be putting here, oil well and that type of thing. So decide I'm going to do cooling over here. So I've got some Desolands up in the space area. Nice thing about that is essentially I can build a steam turbine on this stuff and have hot steam underneath it. And it's got a bit of protection. So I want to have 2 steam turbines. So this is 5. That's enough for 1. All I need to do, and I brought some with me, got some insulated ceramic. And I'll place that to the side. Now, what I actually should do here before I do that, just thinking about the dupes, let's put some just regular tile above this whole system, just to act as protection from the elements, so that when they're doing some of the construction, they'll have that protecting them, and then we'll go forward with the actual cooling system. Because my dupes are very susceptible to radiation, as well as they eat twice the amount of calories. And I was suffering with a metal poor asteroid for a while, but now that I'm expanding to different asteroids, I'm not as nervous about the metal situation. Back in the home asteroid, I have 5. There's an additional one. Okay, that's new. There's all these acorns that I'm finally been getting. So I want to get them in the ground to create some wild trees. So I'll have some stables available. I'll put some pips in there. They'll put that a tree. And tree grows between 15 and 40 degrees. So I have to be a little bit careful. This one here is going to be fine. I'll just choose other places. They'll be comfortably between 15 and 45 degrees for the tree to grow, so that a new set of pips will have more branches to eat, and I'll be getting more meat. Alright, scientists starting the process of putting in some protection. So that takes it down from 200 to 87. A little bit of help anyway. Having some drywall installed. So this is where the steam turbines are going to sit. I'm actually going to have some liquid in there. That's why I need some drywall. And down here, this is where the steam is going to be. The cooling system. And definitely want drywall so that steam doesn't get out. So this is the big moment in the project. I have this little area that can now store water. And that's ultimately going to turn to steam. But let's fill that with water. I need a pipe. How did this happen? Okay. So this pipe will go initially towards some hot water that's already on the base. This way down here. So that was this cool steam. Nothing cool about it really, but there it is. Now as this pumps through, I'm a little cautious about heat going into the base, so I'm going to do insulated pipes from here. This is going to join up at that point. It's going to take all the water that is accumulated here from this cool steam vent and send it in there. Now I do have lots of water that I brought with my rocket, so once this is drained up, I'll switch to that after. You can see carbon dioxide has built up, so testing this button for the first time. Oops. Just have to enable pump as well. But now I'll have a button I can control it with. Is that going anywhere? I guess that won't actually go anywhere unless it's heading to something. It's going towards the rocket. Disabled by, oops. There we go. Alright, so this allows me, they're holding their breath whenever they're going into the washroom. It's just not needed. So every now and then I'll check this. When I notice that's the case, I'll turn this pump on. That'll drain some of that, or get rid of some of that carbon dioxide, a little bit of the chlorine as well, making room for oxygen. Like I said, they're eating in filth. Let's look at the oxygen pressure. Taking damage here, yeah. Oh. It's because of the polluted water that you dupes are causing. I don't know if they'll be able to break this one in time. We'll see. Oh, another. It's just gonna go on and on. Let's dig out this area. Oops, won't like this task because they're gonna get completely soaked. But I need to get this pump away from where the polluted water is falling, because that's just causing damage to all these buildings that use water. Let's get rid of this. Can turn the pump off for now. Connect this with a water pipe. Oh, actually, I can just connect it up there. You could destroy that. That would be very helpful. No, you destroyed the wrong pipe. It's because you dupes are so slow. Get to where I want you to go and destroy that. Otherwise, you're destroying the wrong thing. There we go. So that's a bit of good news. And they're going to get their feet soaked for a while and all that. Just the way it is for a little bit, dupes. Just hang on. So this, my thinking is that now when they're puke, it'll go down to this area away from the pump. This is going to need some power, so I'll connect that over here. These doors don't need to stay closed. The O2 level down here. Looks like oxygen is struggling a little bit to get down to this spot. Maybe I'll open this area up just a little bit to help get that oxygen, make its way towards the base so it becomes breathable. And they're still working on getting that pump or pipe towards there. I'm going to make this the higher priority because this is required for oxygen. Maybe what I'll do too, I've got lots of bottles of water, so if this ever gets too low, getting a little bit low now, I can get the dupes to add more water. More polluted water. Back in the home world, just adding more acorns, putting them in the ground so they eventually become trees. Oh, excellent, that's the final one. More trees for the dupe or pips to be able to eat. Means more meat for the dupes to be able to eat. Homeworld, I'm going to have a new rocket built. This is also going to be carbon dioxide. And this is just going to be really simple rocket, solo safer module. Actually, technically we could, no reason why we can't build this one. But we're getting low in metal ore. So probably should stop construction of this. So while the dupes are on the other asteroid, that's the Desolands, I can send some dupes here, or over to my neighboring asteroid to get some metal ore, because there's still a lot of cobalt and gold amalgam over in this world. Another consumer of my metal ore is this. This is the Down the Hatch achievement. Let's look at that. That is producing cobalt, which is nice. Enter an oil biome for the first time, yeah. Alright, so Down the Hatch. How much have we produced? 2 tons. So we've got, we're 20% away. So that they're going to be there consuming cobalt or whatever metal ore I put in there for some time now. Let's have a look at Villista. Getting some food together. And that pipe that's going to be providing water is still under construction. Designing this new rocket. So it's going to store a lot more oxygen than the other one, just because there's more space available. We'll get that to drain at the bottom, so I'll wrap around here. as much as I can. Each tile that I have here is just extra oxygen storage available to me. So let's whip around like this way. Oops. And then we'll vent right here. And just planning this through. If I'm venting oxygen there, I want the oxygen to be able to go up. I'll have a mesh tile for a little bit of extra oxygen going up as well. So I'm actually going to have rooms on this asteroid. So I'm going to have a barracks and a mess hall. Just looking at the mess hall is going to go over here. There's heavier radiation at this point due to this, so I don't want them to eat at that location. Let's put their eating location, mess table, to either side of that. Maybe we'll do the side closer. I have a ration box to store food. Carbon skimmer, so we don't have to worry about carbon dioxide. And of course we'll have a power generation place for them to use the washroom. So in the same way that I'm going to have this go all around the rocket to kind of store water, this will allow me to essentially, actually I'm going to do it from this perspective. So the final route is going to be visiting the washroom and the carbon skimmer, and this thing will go around everywhere else on its way. In some sort of crazy map. Technically that'll work. And we'll just go and connect. Oh, I just realized that I need a path out for the polluted water, or else the carbon skimmer is not going to run for too long. So that carbon skimmer is going to have polluted water that can actually just be leaked out in space right there. Then I can take this and loop around, connect it like that. Okay, let's go check on the dupes and the Desolands while that rocket's being constructed. Water is being dropped off. Excellent. Okay, thinking about this, I probably should have done this first. This is going to be made of gold amalgam. It'll switch to steel in time, but I should have built this before water was in the area, because dupes are going to have to get their feet wet, but I think they can survive. So I'm going to use ceramic here to send cooling liquid in and out of this, because this is going to be a very hot area eventually, and I don't want the cooling water that go in and out of this be exposed to that heat. So that already has power, or at least from the perspective of, you know, being connected to this. But the heavy wire is already in the area, so I shouldn't have to go too far. So this is going to be my cooling liquid that sits right here. I will have a liquid shut-off to determine whether or not liquid goes in there or not. So if it's too cool, or if it's too warm rather, it will send liquid in there. So let's see, liquid's going to go in, and if it doesn't, if it's not able to, or it's not in need of being cooling, it's going to go in this direction. Jump over this thing and combine with this, and then leak into here, and the liquid that goes out of this is going to have priority access to get into here. So we'll have an input and an output, and both of those now can make their way towards the base, and that's going to be the cooling line to cool down the Desolands. So we're getting there. So this system has worked. The polluted water is falling to the spot where the pump is not, which is very good news. Dupes are not loving their job here, being sick all the time. But after they're done building the cooling system, which is on the outside of the asteroid, most of the other work is going to be inside here. So just a little bit more to go. And when they're doing construction over this spot, it actually is, and it does have a low radiation. It's mostly just a path to get there that's so bad. Almost wondering if I should have just had that path, dug a path from this way up. That probably, looking back, might have been a good thing. But we're almost done. I guess note for next time. Colony achievement earned was that. No, I think that was the old. That's one we already saw. Alright, so now it's time to put in a little bit of automation here. So the idea is I want to take the temperature of this water, or liquid, it's going to be brine, it's going to go out of here. So I can do that with liquid pipe thermosensor, sense it right out of this. And based on the temperature of that, that's what's going to tell this shut off whether or not cooling is needed or not. So use some cobalt, connect this over here. So that's going to give power to the thermal aquatuner. This thing also needs power. Then I'll have a line, so this is going to be the line going out for cooling, and a return line. Return line, we'll sneak that down here, put it up into here. Lots of liquid. So it's going to fill up quite a bit, provide a massive amount of steam. Now initially, I'm just going to be heating up this liquid. So right now it's about 60 degrees. It'll go up to obviously 70, 80 or so. Before it actually turns to steam though, I want to switch this out for a steel thermal aquatuner. At which point the Atmos suits will be needed to get into this area. It may not necessarily be steam, but it could be close to 90 degrees at that point. I don't want the dupes to have to do construction when it's like that. Just realized I'm confusing the two different pipes here. First of all, if I forget, I'm going to need the liquid bridge over here. But this is the polluted line. Definitely don't want that connected here. I need one line to feed into this. Maybe this isn't going to work then the way I thought. So it's going to be my polluted line getting out, and I'll have the water line going in. I think I'll destroy this and I'll redo this a little bit. Alright, so I did a little bit of this over. Actually, there's even more possibility of storing more water over here. Not that I really need this much water storage. I figure why not. Connect this in here, so that's going to allow the dupe to be able to have carbon skimmer and a lavatory while they're traveling. So liquid has been filled up in this area. It is going to allow the aquatuner to slowly, very slowly heat up this area, so it'll run for quite a while before things get too hot, before I need to switch to steel. So I won't be switching to steel and actually generating the steel steam turbines in this episode, but I'll just have the basic cooling running soon, so I can get a little bit of cooling going now, and then it's going to allow me to get into here, produce some plastic for the steam turbines, produce some steel, and then have this as a fully long-term cooling solution. I'm about to put a fridge inside the rocket, and I think this is something I've never done before, and I think I just never thought about it. Let's put this right here. It has some power. I'll be sure this building is enabled. Nice thing about this is I can actually load some food into this now without having to worry how early I am until the actual dupes leave. Because normally with the actual rations box, I want to put in just before they leave. But with the fridge, it doesn't matter so much. Anyway, that's kind of nice. So here's my rocket. Just just realized that I'm going to have 2 dupes on this mission, not just one. And I have the ability now to build a ladder bed, so actually I can stack these 2 beds together so that both dupes can sleep along the way. So one will be up here, the other one will be down here once this is deconstructed. So food is already in here. I have 9,600 calories, maybe. I'll just increase that a little bit. Put the second bed in, and then I think we're going to be ready to go. I chose Explorer and Cook to go on this mission, collecting more metal ore. And Ballista, still lots of sickness happening. Oops. But we're getting to the last little bit of the construction phase for all of this. But I do need to put in a place, actually, now that I think about it, to load initial amount of brine that's going to be going through this system. Not helpful to have this polluted water sitting right here because that's actually killing the vacuum area underneath this thing, which isn't a huge deal right now, but it'll matter when this becomes over 100 degrees. So just building the little section that's going to have brine be brought into the pipeline. So I'm going to need some drywalling if I want to have this go right here. Then I'll have a pump. And that pump will go towards one of those lines. This one's already filled up with water. Don't want water to be my cooling source. So I actually might aim to drain this. I do a cut down here. I'm going to put a liquid vent right there. That'll drain that liquid out. So I can put some brine in there eventually. Let's destroy the ones that are over there as well. Ready to send this rocket off. So let's send this rocket over here where they can collect some more metal ore. And when both dupes are on there, you can launch. Now they're not producing oxygen, it's a short distance for them to go. 0.4 cycles, and if we look in the rocket, view interior, there's polluted water on top of the rocket. I wasn't expecting that, that's funny. Yeah, I actually have a good amount of oxygen within the pipes itself and the overall rocket. So they'll get there soon enough, some food to eat, and when they get to the other asteroid, actually maybe I'll start to have some bins created for I can. But when they get to the other asteroid, they'll load in some more algae so they can produce oxygen, but tons of cobalt and golden amalgam as well. So it's been a while since I've seen any dupes on this asteroid. Let me check to see if I need to refill this rocket to get back. Change the location. I do not, so that's one thing I don't have to worry about. I can just start digging for some metals and have that load it into the rocket. And then we'll get back out of here. So we're going for some cobalt ore. There's even some aluminum. Careful not to dig too close to the volcano that's sitting right there. Dig out a path to some abyssal light just for oxygen while they're digging down here. We'll go in the rocket now. Oh, that's wrong rocket. Create some bins. Now I already have a fridge on the base. We'll disable this. We're not going to destruct it. Disable that building. If that's the only thing that needs power. Oxygen diffuser's not currently running. I'll start to temporarily destroy some stuff just so I can have space to make some bins. Just relocating the fridge to an area that is a little more consistent in carbon dioxide. Just realized I've been working with this old style door for a while. let's upgrade that to a mechanized airlock. Alright, so I'll do that at high priority. Now that means I'm going to need small wire going up a division. Well, technically it doesn't matter at the moment, but if I feel like if I don't do this now correctly, I'll forget once I separate these circuits. Probably a good time to also separate these circuits. Alright, so I'll do this, that, put in a transformer. Heavy wire is going to go into this. Not quite that intense. Just the regular one, yeah. That's going to go into that. That will feed into this. When all that's constructed, I'll snap that wire, separating those two circuits. I think we are now ready to separate these circuits. So I'll disconnect that right there. And connect this together. As long as a dupe will break that for me. There we go. As soon as this is connected, I'll have two separate circuits. So the lower one is now protected. I'm able to generate a lot more power on this one. I'll continue to build more solar panels, as well as have an aqua tuner that's going to take a lot of power. I've got a hydrogen generator, not a lot of hydrogen building up, probably because of the doors right there letting the hydrogen out. Trying to decide if I should make any other changes. But this all looks like it's ready to go, except for the fact that there's no brine. So let's start loading brine. I think that's the next task. So the dupes will dump some brine in here to make this go a little bit quicker. Why don't we put in a second bottle emptier? Maybe even a third. Be able to access this one. I think if they're standing there, they will. If it's that point, I'll give this a test. This could be decorative if I want to do that. So copy here. Let's see if they can start emptying on all three. Yeah, they can. Alright, so that just improves that. Let's check the water level here. 300. It would not hurt to start adding water, because I've got a lot of water that I brought with me. Let's have a look at this. This is making its way in and through. So there's a logic here. So what is the temperature of this? 0.8 degrees. I definitely don't want to cool it at this point. And it's sending the signal that, wrong one, sending the signal it thinks it should be cooled because its setting is above 6 degrees. Alright, so I think a more appropriate setting might be 22 degrees or above. You can do some cooling. Otherwise, AquaTuner, you can relax a little bit. And we'll get this thing fully loaded with brine before I stop dumping brine at that location. So we're full of brine. Currently almost -3 degrees. So that's going in and out. So I can disable all these, then we'll no longer have water or brine going there. Water-wise, looking good. A little bit of water being added to this point. So at this point, all I really need to do is actually make the round around the base that's going to provide the cooling. So let's figure out that it's better to go through tiles than just through the air. So I'll do that here. Just wrapping all around the living area. We're out of granite tiles. Or yeah, that's lots of granite over here. Don't have a shortage of that. Won't we just dig into that? Miner digging through the obsidian. Gonna get some iron in the process, which is nice. Explorers making their way deeper into Sagista, finding all kinds of gold amalgam, cobalt ore as well. It'll be slowly loaded into the rocket. Gold volcano. Probably be a very long time till I tame that, but that'll happen someday. How are we doing inside the rocket itself? Almost 40 tons of cobalt ore, 32 tons of gold amalgam, half a ton of algae. Let's check Vista. Ballista. So yeah, we got some more granite now. So I can continue this process of building granite pipes all around. That's just good temperature interaction material, thermal. And build over here and move this wall over a little bit. Actually, I care about the wall from this perspective, but I certainly want these two to be built. Maybe I'll tell the dupes. Do that high priority. This couldn't come at a better time to have this system operating. Growth is being stopped due to temperature. It's getting a little too warm from over here. But yeah, we'll get this system on. That'll have an effect of allowing this to grow again, because otherwise we'd run out of food. So dupes, kind of critical that you build fast as possible. Have I upgraded your skills? I may not have. So yes, you had digging. Carrying and building skills are going to be useful. Don't want to push too much. Construction, carrying. You're not particularly happy, but alright, that may contribute to stress going forward, but I'd rather you be stressed out than hungry or starving. So let's really just push this final construction because it's almost ready to go. So I have pipes breaking. That's because this material that I've been loading is getting really cold because it's on a very cold asteroid. I'm taking it from the coldest part of that asteroid. Anyway, we're ready to go. What did we get here? We have 50 tons of cobalt ore and 46 tons of gold amalgam. That's really good. Let's get back on this. Send it to the homeworld where they can use that metal ore. And let's get going. Have a look at Ballista, where base cooling is very much needed. I think this is the last two pieces to connect this. Oh no, we'll need this. Which direction is this thing going? Snap this here. So one is going to be the input. I see the bottom one is the input. Okay, so it's going to go up on this side, meaning that I need a liquid bridge going in this direction. And if that gets built, I think, okay, no, this also needs to be done. We are very close to having our first cooling system. Well, we have built a simple cooling. Oh, did that in the wrong direction, didn't I? Oh no, that was right. I have a simple cooling system that I built in the other asteroid, but now one exists over here with the help of AquaTuner. And in the next episode, or if not the next episode, very soon, I will produce some plastic, put some steam turbines above here, upgrade this to steel when I can start to produce steel for the first time. But just to get started, this is a very good thing. And the dupes haven't been outside, so they don't have minor radiation poisoning anymore. Slowly, we will get the temperature of this base down. Food will continue to grow. And then next episode, in addition to changes over here, I think the next big step is getting into this oil asteroid. I'm going to have some ammo suits necessary to get in there. I already have the base cooling, that's going to help. And that's going to unlock a lot of things. So I've got lead in there, fossils, but oil. Oil's the main thing, because I can produce plastic with that. Alright, well, thanks for watching. I will see you in another episode. Till then.